friends, to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. I am Jenny, the storytelling genie, here with my sweet and crafty friend, Cosette the kitty cat, and we wish to welcome you to our lamp and for another enchanted journey. I was just sitting here petting Cosette. She likes when I sit and I pet her and groom her and fluff her up and make her oh so pretty. She feels like a princess when I do. Speaking of princesses, Cosette has picked out a story that has to do with a princess, but it's not your typical princess. She might just surprise you. Would you like to go and hear it with us now? I would too. You ready to send us on our way, Cosette? On our magic carpet? Okay, I think the boys and girls know what to do, but let's help them along. Let's rub our hands together and say, I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we go. Welcome, boys and girls. Are you ready for another enchanted journey story time with me? Today we'll be reading The Paper Bag Princess by Robert Munsch. I hope you enjoy it. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forests and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess! I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait!" shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon, and he took a huge, deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burned up 50 forests. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath, but this time nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic! Do it again!" So the dragon jumped up and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear, put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired, he didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes. Your hair is all tangled, and you are wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess." "Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a bum." They didn't get married after all. The end. What did you think of The Paper Bag Princess? I really enjoy this story because in it, It's a princess who takes charge, and she's not afraid to approach a dragon and use her clever wit and mind to trick the dragon so that she gets to be the one to rescue the prince, instead of a prince rescuing a princess. But after all that, all the prince could see was what she looked like on the outside. He hadn't paid attention to the fact that she was so clever and smart that she could outwit a dragon and come to his aid and rescue him. Can you believe that? And here she was, this awesome, fierce Elizabeth princess. I think she is really cool, and I hope that any young boys and girls at home will take a lesson from this, that it doesn't really matter how we look. It's about how hard we work, our determination, our willingness to help others, how we use our mind and imagination to solve problems. That's what this story is about to me, and I hope you got that from this story as well. Well, we've come to the end of our story, so I'm ready to go and try something else fun with you. Would you like to go with me now? And let's see what we can come up with. Let's go do some activity together. Does that sound good? All right, let's go.
In keeping in line with the paper bag princess, I thought it'd be a lot of fun if we made our own paper bag princesses today. Or if you don't want to make a princess, you could make the paper bag prince, or you could make the dragon from the story. This is where you get to use your imagination and creativity and have as much fun as you desire. But the special part of this project that I want to do is I want to pull out some ideas from the story that made me like it so much, and I'm going to put them on an index card, and I'm going to put that on the front of my princess to remind me why this simple girl Elizabeth in a plain old paper bag was so very special. So special, she told
Prince Ronald
he wasn't special enough for her, even though she was dressed in nothing but a paper sack and he had rich royal clothing on and looked so handsome. So I think it's important to remember it's about what's inside, not so much about what's on the outside. And this index card is going to help us to have a reminder right out front of what made Elizabeth special. If you decide to do the prince, you could point out the things that he could work on so that his inside might match his nice exterior. Or you could make the dragon and talk about the characteristics of the dragon. The choice is up to you. I'm going to show you how to do the princess, and that'll give you ideas on how to do a prince or a dragon. So the first thing we're going to need to do is gather our materials. I've got a pencil, I have some scissors, I have a marker, I have my index card, paper bag of course, I have some colored pencils, some crayons, and just some markers. And lastly, I've got some tape, or a glue stick would work really well for this too. So whatever you have, doesn't need to be a whole lot of materials, just a little bit. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to design my front of my princess's dress. So I'm going to kind of treat this like a puppet. And if this was her paper sack, I want to cut out her neck area where her head can come out and some of this paper bag so that this paper bag makes her dress. So I'm just going to do that by taking my pencil and just kind of drawing where I think her straps for her dress would go, and just giving it a big opening here so that I can make her head to come out of that paper bag. Then I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut through there. There's an extra little piece here. You can glue that down if you don't want that flopping open, or you can glue it up and have her head come out of the middle of the sack. That would work. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to attach this flap down to here, like so that her head comes out here, and this is the back of her dress. So to do that, I'm just going to take a little bit of glue with my glue stick and just apply it right here where that flap is. And then I'm just going to fold this over, push down, glue that there. If you want, you can use the shape you cut from the bag as a good starting shape for your princess head. This kind of looks like the top of a head to me. And I might just take an extra index card to draw a face and add a neck using index cards. You could do that with a piece of cardboard or anything you like. You don't have to use the paper bag like I'm doing. I just like to reuse things as I go. But I think what I'm going to do is draw a face here and a neck using my index card to have this come out of my paper bag. So to do that, I'm just going to loosely line up her head. I'll say that's her hair. I'm just going to outline a face shape. I'm just going to cut out a face, something like that. And her hair I'll trim after I glue it on because her hair is a little bit too wide for the face that I made. And because hair is usually not exactly perfectly straight across the head, I'm just going to add a little bit of wave into there. I'll glue that down. Okay, got my princess's head starting to come together. Now she needs a neck, so I'm going to use the rest of that index card. And this part already is kind of shaped like a nice beginning of a neck. So I'm going to just go ahead and attach that. I'm going to line it up to where I like it. I'm going to have to trim it. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to line it up right next to her jaw area, I guess. I'm going to glue it down and then I'm going to trim it. That looks pretty good. And I'm just going to kind of copy that shape. After you've decided on your princess neck length and head length, she might be a little floppy up top like mine because it's kind of heavy. So what you can do is just take an extra index card, piece of paper, or cardboard, fold it up nice and tight like I have, and you can tape that on the inside, or the back side, I should say, of your princess's neck and head to give it some strength. Now my princess's head is staying up nice and tall. Hopefully you can see it's not flopping around. I am going to start working on all her features, give her some hair. I'm just drawing things that I want my princess to have. Like I just drew this little crown. You don't have to make a crown if you don't want to. And I think I am going to do it in marker so it shows up good. I'm just going to cut that out. Yeah, I think that'll work nicely on top of her head. So I'm just going to keep on coloring, decorating my princess, and you can do the same with yours. And you can give your princess any color hair you like. I'm going to just give mine a little bit of, I guess, a fiery red color. Using some glue to hold that down. I might use a little bit of tape. You can work with hot glue if you're going to use yarn or string. That works really well with yarn and string. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape because I think I can hide it with the crown that I made so that you really won't be able to see where I put some tape up on her hair. So that's kind of just a little trick that I got up my sleeve here. And then when I make her hair different lengths, just cut some of the pieces off. And I'm going to add some pieces in the front from the hair that I cut to hide the brown bag. Just make sure you apply your glue really well if you're using a glue stick to get that yarn to stay. If you want your paper bag princess to stay kind of plain, you don't want to add decoration, you can leave it just like that. You can make some arms for her if you want. You can cut a couple of small slits in your paper bag for her arms to stick out. That might be nice. The part that I really wanted to focus on was writing down some of the things I liked best about the princess and putting them on her paper bag. I'm going to pick out some words about the story or about the princess that I liked best. I'm going to put them right onto an index card. And I'm going to attach it right to my paper bag. So why don't you take a minute and think about some of the things from the story that you really liked, and you can do this with me. I've been giving some thought to what I liked about the paper bag princess. And I've decided to draw myself a little dragon because he was really important in the story. And now I'm going to write down some of those words that I liked. I liked that Elizabeth had what we call initiative. That means she took charge. After her prince was captured, she just didn't sit around and pout and worry and cry. She made a plan, and she showed that she had a lot of strength. She was strong, especially in her character. She wasn't afraid of the dragon. She wasn't worried that she was a princess. She took charge and decided that she could do something to help her Prince Roland. She also had she would do something that would help her Prince Ronald. She also had something I would call self-worth. At the end of the story, when the prince was telling her she wasn't a real princess because she didn't look like a princess, she knew what her value was and that her true beauty was inside, and that she didn't need a prince like that if that's how he felt. So that was really neat. She was pretty resourceful too. She used her wits to outsmart the dragon. And I thought that was really cool. And I think most importantly, she was brave. I like when people, whether they're make-believe people like our princess or not, are brave. They are strong and dependable and count on themselves and use what they have for their talents to figure things out. So I think these are some good things I've pointed out. Now I'm just going to decorate this card a little bit, and I'm going to attach it to my princess. When you're done picking out some words that you liked about your princess in your story, or your dragon, or the prince, you're going to take and just glue that card right on to your paper bag. When you're done, you should have something that looks a little like this. Here is my paper bag princess, and here are some of the wonderful things that I found about her. She showed initiative and strength of character. She knew what her self-worth was. She was resourceful, and she was brave against the dragon and against the prince. So I hope you enjoyed this activity with me today, and that you will do more fun activities like this and use your imagination. But I think it's time to head back to the magic lamp and say goodbye to Cosette. Ready to head with me there now? All right, let's go.
And welcome back to the magic lamp, friends. Did you enjoy the story about the paper bag princess? Were you able to make your very own paper bag princess? Or maybe a dragon or a prince? I enjoyed reading this story with you, and I really enjoyed picking out the things about Elizabeth that I was most excited by. Her bravery, her resourcefulness, the fact that she had a lot of self-worth, that she was very strong and courageous, and that she took initiative. She didn't sit around and hope that somebody else would rescue her prince. She took charge and did it herself. And I think that's a wonderful quality to have in a young lady, or in a young gentleman, of course. What do you think, Cosette? Do you like our Princess Elizabeth? Yeah, I do too. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you'll remember that the best parts of yourself aren't the physical things on the outside, how pretty or handsome we are, but what's inside, how strong we are, how kind we are, how gentle we are. Those are the things that really count. And I hope you'll remember that. And I hope you'll come back to visit Cosette and me in our magic lamp again very soon. Until we do, see you again. Take great care of yourselves. Bye-bye.